everybody can hear me here. It's taking a little bit of time to get everything connected properly, and I'm hoping that that's all right. Let's see here. Bob says we figured we'd had some tech difficulties, and that's true. So bear with me one moment here. We'll get everything rocking and rolling here shortly. Okay, I think we're close to having everything functioning here. So again, my apologies for the tech problems that we've had, and we want to welcome everybody who's joined us. Hi, Henry. Hello, Bruce. Bob, I'm glad you were hanging in there. Crystal, good to see you. Dale, Paramjit, Eric, and Chris, and George, and Mark, and Ivy. Good that you could join us today. So we're glad that we got everybody connecting here. Let's see here. I'm trying to pull up some images here. Bear with me 1 second, and we'll see if we can find what we're looking for. Now then, let's see. Okay, now let's see if we do this. All right, I'm not sure if we're actually sharing the screen here or not. That's the intention. Let's see here. We got this. We got the microphone on and the bandwidth settings. Screen share. Hello. Now we should start to see something here. My apologies again for some of the glitchiness of the session here. That's not unusual. In fact, I was talking earlier today with one of our tech support people, and he was telling me, we were talking about some of the challenges we've had with some of the websites here, and he said, listen, I want you to understand that this is, you're not the only one having these challenges. And he said, in fact, that he was working with some of the server people that were providing for some of the websites that he supports. And he says, we've had 36 websites go down simultaneously. So we're trying to get them all back up and running. So I don't have time to talk to you today. So whatever technical challenges that we've run into here are certainly minor by comparison, and we want to acknowledge that fact, and we can be grateful for small favors, I guess is the best way to put it. So at any rate, we do want to welcome everyone to our session here today, and glad that you could participate. And appreciate your willingness to join us here on fairly short notice. Bruce wanted to know if we consulted the charts before launching the session today. And in fact, we should have done that, Bruce, but we began having the problems about 20 minutes before the session was scheduled to get started. So this is one of the challenges that we face here. When we work with the astrological dynamics, what we're doing is trying to elect the best possible times for all of our actions. But there is our ideal clock that we imagine we control with the astrology and our ability to choose certain dynamics. And then there's the clock of the real world. Stuff happens and things get in the way. People show up late for appointments, and computers break down, and all kinds of different dynamics will go on from time to time that will give us some challenges. So I do appreciate your patience and working with us here. This is one of those times that despite our efforts to match the time to the right astrology, the technology just didn't cooperate properly. At any rate, welcome to our session here today. We're going to have a very informal time together because I wanted to share some things that are going on here with you. But the basic dynamic here that we're talking about is the process of getting started with astro trading. And this is something that I've been dealing with for a lot of years now. Been involved in astrology for well over 40 years professionally, and with the astrology of the markets for almost 30 years, and have been publishing Financial Cycles weekly newsletter since 1988. I think we started 88. I believe was the year. So we've had a lot of years of experience of applying astrology to the markets and engaging in the trading process with the astrological tools. Now, the interesting thing here is that we've shared this information with a lot of people over the years. I've done a lot of research myself, had all kinds of experiences in the markets, including plenty of losses, as well as some profitable trades as well. So over the time, we've learned a lot about what it takes to be effective with astro trading. But there's a question that comes up again and again, which is, if you're a newcomer to this whole dynamic, what are the first steps that you need to take, and how do you actually begin the process? And it's very interesting because what I have found is that lots of people pay attention to astro trading. There's a lot of interest in this field, in this area. And with this dynamic, there are lots of people who like to study it, but actually applying it is something else. And it is kind of a wonderful area of knowledge that we can deal with at an abstract kind of level, but unless we actually engage with it, then we don't get the full benefit from it. And the fact of the matter is that astro trading offers us some really incredible opportunities for increased financial independence. It can be a tremendous tool in leveraging our engagement with the markets in some very, very significant ways. And as that happens, it opens up all kinds of incredible opportunities for us to enhance our personal financial well-being. And along the way, we get this benefit of understanding the cosmos more completely and seeing the beauty of the market dynamics and all the things that people like to engage with from a study standpoint. And so that's something there that we like to acknowledge, that we don't lose out on any of the esoteric knowledge or that intrinsic pleasurable experience of learning something new by virtue of the fact that we're actively engaging with the markets. And of course, we do get the added benefit of the coordination with the astrological dynamics with the markets, and seeing all kinds of profitable opportunities that come up because of that. We can look at a lot of different astrological phenomena, and we have studied this for a number of years. This particular chart is about solar eclipses and their impact on the S&P 500, and we can see how eclipses oftentimes can give us signals about market movements. So we can learn these kinds of things in advance and get a considerable advantage in our astro trading. If we understand what's going on with the markets, then we can get a much better viewpoint on that, and position ourselves much more profitably with the trading dynamic as well. This is just an example of the kinds of tools that we look at. And of course, the bottom line here is that we get very, very good results with this. We have been working with these methodologies for several decades now, and for the last 13, 14 years, we've been keeping very meticulous records of our trading activity with our model portfolio here at Financial Cycles Weekly. And of course, we've been able to consistently outperform the markets, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the S&P 500, year after year. And what's interesting here is that we never had a losing year. Some years, obviously, the performance is weaker than others. Right now, we are ahead about 17, 18% so far for this year, something like that. I think there's a gain in the market of about 3%. So we're outpacing things, considerably at this point. As we look at some of these dynamics, this is not theoretical. We can get the results, and we can do so very, very consistently. But the challenge here, of course, is being able to encourage others to kind of come along with us for the ride here. Note, for example, that in 2008, of course, this was a disastrous year for the markets. This was the time of the last big crash. The S&P was down 37% that year. We were up about 46% that same year with the model portfolio. So not only do we perform well during bull markets, but in bear markets as well. And of course, when we have a great deal of trading congestion, sometimes our results are not quite as strong. 2006 is an interesting year there. Both the Dow and the S&P were up by about 16%. We were up by a little shy of 10% that year. That was our weakest performing year, and we did not do as well as the overall market averages, but in that particular example, that was a very congested year in terms of our ability to make money in the markets. So the real question here for all of us is what keeps us from getting engaged in this process? Again, we have seen the consistent levels of performance that we can get from applying astrology to the markets, and we can discover all kinds of opportunities that are there. But the thing that amazes me is the number of people who see these opportunities and fail to take advantage of them, who fail to take the action necessary to capitalize on these marvelous tools and insights that astro trading provides us with. So the core question here is, why haven't you gotten started yet? And that's really what the focus is for our time together today, as we look at how to get started with astro trading. And the first question is what excuses are you giving yourself for not doing this? And again, I've talked with lots of people over the years, and we get feedback all the time. Every time we offer a new training program or put out a new publication, it's very interesting because there are lots of people who are quite passionate about this subject who will give me feedback, who will get involved, and sometimes they will purchase an ebook or enroll in a course and give me more feedback with that. But for the most part, they tend to shy away from the application of the astrological principles in real world trading. And that's what we're really focusing on here. One of the biggest complaints that I hear is that I just don't have time to do this. And the question is, if you are already actively trading, then this is pretty much a no-brainer. I mean, taking the time to trade at all and to add the Astro trading advantage to the mix really doesn't take any extra time, but you must, of course, have the time to be involved in the process. Again, if you cannot set aside the time to be engaged in the markets at one level or another, then you can't expect to make the money from the markets. Now, this does not imply that you have to be a day trader and spend all of your time sitting in front of your computer screen and being engaged with the markets 24/7, so to speak. I know there are some players in the international markets who prefer to do a lot of their work kind of around the clock, depending on what's trending and what markets are open when. And if that's your choice and the kind of activity that you like to participate in, we don't want to discourage you from doing that. But it is not necessary to have that kind of time involvement in order to get the benefit from Astro trading. So this is one of those things that is our complaint about life in general. We all only have 24 hours per day to make use of, and so the idea that I don't have time to trade actively in the markets or to take advantage of the Astro trading dynamic is certainly something that holds about as much water as I don't have time to exercise or I don't have time to relax, whatever it may be. The other big complaint that we often hear is that I don't have enough money to trade with. And certainly if you don't have any financial resources at all, then your opportunities in the markets are considerably limited. But what we have tried to do is structure our model portfolio in a way that not only keeps the amount of time involved to a minimum, but also the financial commitment as well. And so this is something that we have done now for the last 13 years and have gotten remarkable results with, as you've seen. What we do each year is we basically zero out our model portfolio at a value of $100,000. That means we begin with cash, and of course, if we're holding over positions at the end of a trading year and beginning a new calendar year with active positions, then we calibrate their value and then add the sufficient amount of cash to bring it to an even 100,000. So what this does then is give us a level playing field. So as we looked at these numbers, looking at these results, these were not cumulative results. This is on a year-per-year basis. We can get an average of about a 35% return. Some years better, some years worse. And of course, past performance doesn't guarantee future results. So we have to sneak that caveat in wherever we can, whenever we talk about the markets, just to keep everything on the up and up here. But essentially, what we're doing is limiting that amount of money in the model portfolio to $100,000 to work with in any given year. We also are typically doing swing trading positions so we can minimize the amount of time that we have to be involved in the active trading process. We come back in with open positions once a week and recalibrate our stops and work with them accordingly. So there's a very specific times that we work with during the course of any given trading week that will get us into and out of the particular trades that we're engaged with. So we minimize the amount of time involved, and we also are very conservative about the amount of money involved. And in fact, we have worked with clients, and some of our students have tried various size portfolios here. If you've got less than $5,000 to work with in the markets, then this is probably not a good approach for you. There's definitely a minimum amount that's required to work with in terms of the money, but it doesn't have to be a lot. You don't have to have $2 or $3 million in order to make the money from Astro trading. Then, of course, the time, the money, and the know-how is the next thing. If lots of people hesitate for getting involved in the Astro trading experience, simply because they recognize the fact that they don't know it all. And this is really something that I think is characteristic for all of us. The more we mature, the more we learn, the more we know what we don't know, or the more we know that we don't know a lot of things that can be pretty critical. But the question is, how much is enough? How much knowledge do I need to have? And one of the ways that we can gain knowledge, of course, is through a training experience. And so how much training is enough to give me the confidence that I need here? And that's really the core of what we're talking about in terms of the procrastination for getting engaged in the markets. Pardon me. If we're putting it off until I learn enough, or until I've had enough training, then this is equivalent to postponing things indefinitely. For many of us, it tends to work that way. So we want to be cautious about this kind of thinking. If we acquire more training, if we get more knowledge, then that certainly can make a very positive difference. And so Bob is saying no. I'm not sure what you're saying no to, Bob, but if you want to clarify that, or maybe it was a specific question that we asked, and I didn't catch your response in time. So give us a little more feedback on that, Bob, and we'll see if we can fill in the blanks there. The other big concern, besides not having the knowledge and the trading, I think, is going beyond that a little bit, of being afraid that we'll make costly mistakes or big mistakes in the trading experience. Now, especially if you've had experience trading before or have been around traders, there's lots of kind of one-upmanship in terms of the latest technique and the latest knowledge, and the ability to score consistently in the markets is highly prized. So that's one of the things that we like to kind of keep an eye on here. And with this, this is one of the concerns that we got. Let's see. Okay. I was saying, I never saw anything asking me to just confirmation and log in email. Still nothing. I'm not, Bob, if you're able to hear this, you might want to log out and try reconnecting again. I'm seeing that we've got a number of people here still connected, and we're getting some questions and comments from others. And so I'm not sure what you're missing, but if you're unable to connect or unable to hear, try reconnecting again, and maybe the webinar service will cooperate a little bit better for you. You did get the confirmation email. So if we're afraid of making mistakes, or simply afraid of embarrassing ourselves by not doing the things in what we think is the right way in the markets, then it can hold us back a good bit as well. Okay, Bob, you got reconnected. Very good. Thanks, Bob. I'm glad you're back on. Okay, and so this whole notion of do something embarrassing, I think rides heavily on some of us, and in some cases it's far more specific. I'm afraid my spouse will find out if I'm risking money in the markets, especially if I'm losing money in the markets, and that could be a little bit of a challenge there as well. If we have this kind of apprehension about what somebody else will think, it may be the spouse, it might be our children, it might be our business partner, whoever it is, that's important to us, we run into some potential challenges, I think, with our trading, because of the notion is that we have to be able to think independently in that whole process. And of course, one of the underlying dynamics is that I'm afraid I'll lose too much money if I get involved in the markets. Now, this is interesting because I think it is a common fear for a lot of people who think about trading but don't actually trade, whether or not they're looking at the use of astrology in the markets. Astro trading, I think, gives us a considerable advantage in the markets. It does not guarantee that you will never take any financial losses or that you'll never have a losing trade. Nothing works 100% of the time, and even if we've got the astrology right and our forecast is perfect, my own experience is that I can find ways of screwing things up in a trade regardless. There are always going to be opportunities to add the human error and the level of mistakes here on top of things that don't always give us the results that we're looking for. So there are all these different kinds of fears and apprehensions that keep us from getting involved in trading, and even when we can kind of get past that fearful stage, then there's the good old procrastination that gets in the way. And sometimes the procrastination is simply inertia, and we want to get past that as well. And what we're looking for, let's see, my battery is low. Let's try to plug this in. There we go. Hello, we're charged. And just the sense of delaying things, it's like for some folks it's simply a real question about their core abilities. The notion is that I'm not sure that I've done enough in terms of the training or the reading, the research, the gaining of the knowledge, whatever it may be, and so I'm not ready yet. I think I have a reason to do this, but I'm not quite there yet. I will get there at some point. In other cases, it's simply one of those things that I think I know how to do that, but I'll get around to it eventually. One of these days I'm going to start trading and I'll make a bunch of money and then everything will be okay. And if that's your approach, then what we're really dealing with here is the challenge of procrastination rather than having the fear, the apprehension about it. Of course, sometimes this masks a fear a good bit. And it's very interesting to me. I get lots of variations on this this theme, this notion of we'll get around to it. Sometimes, well, I find that individuals put particular requirements. If one of these things happens, then I'll be okay, with it. I'll be able to get started when I can. If I can just free up another 10 or 12 hours a week, so I've got time to do some trading, then I'll be in the game at that point. And that's great if you can figure out how to add 10 or 12 hours to your week, whatever it may be. And oftentimes that's an unrealistic expectation. But some of us tell ourselves that if I can, once I get some free time, then I'm going to spend it trading, or if I found the right trades, if I just know how I can make money every time I go into the markets, then I'll be willing to do that. And oftentimes that's pretty elusive as well. Sometimes we are looking for a particular change in our financial circumstances. If I can get a 10% pay raise with my current job, that'll give me the extra money I need to trade with. If I get an extra week of paid vacation, I'll be able to focus on the market activity a little bit more. We set. I've actually talked with individuals who have set these kinds of stipulations, these kinds of requirements on their own decision to get involved with Astro trading. If I lose another 40 pounds, and then I'll feel really fit and trim, and I'll be ready to trade at that point. And sometimes the procrastination in losing the 40 pounds is even bigger than the procrastination is in getting into the market. So we won't talk about that one in too much detail. I can trade once I figure out what's the best trading software to use. And that's a very interesting consideration, because we've got lots of programs that are available for us in trading, different trading platforms, different analytical tools. The same thing is true of Astro Trading, by the way. There are specific software tools that we work with, and we often have some discussions and recommendations about those along the way. Sometimes it's good to have that assistance of having good software. But if I'm holding off getting involved in the markets until I figure out what the best software is, then chances are I'm trying to give the software too much credit, and that can often be a real trap if we do that. Or once I get around to cleaning out my garage, yeah, there again, we keep telling ourselves, I'm going to do that someday, and then what we're doing is kind of hardwiring ourselves for defeat. Because every day I spend not cleaning out my garage, then I'm telling myself I'm never going to do that, and I'm not true to my word. It's very interesting. With something like that. Once I perfect my own surefire trading system, I talk with a lot of traders who are actively involved in the markets. Many of them are using astrology in various ways, but they're each looking for their special approach that works for them. And rather than recognizing that this is something that's an individual process that works for them, in many cases what they're doing is trying to figure out what will work for everybody. Then once they've discovered something that does work, they feel that it's kind of the holy grail quest. Oh yeah, if I can talk my son into moving out of my basement, then I'll free up some of my financial worries, and I'll be able to trade there as well. So that's one of those things. But the real question is, why haven't you gotten started with Astro Trading yet? And that's really what we want to focus on here today, and something that I've given a lot of time and attention to over the last 6 or 7 months, and have examined this from a lot of angles. What is it that keeps people from engaging in this process? And what is it that causes them to kind of put a toe in the water and then not stick with it long enough to actually get the results? So the question is, what is it that will inspire you in particular? And this is, as I say, one of the things that we have worked with and asked a great deal. And in addressing all of this, there are a number of levels to this question, because we procrastinate in making the decision, because there are so many fears built into this process before we allow ourselves to get engaged, and before we allow ourselves to catch fire, so to speak. Then there are a number of considerations here. It's not just what gets us started, but how do we get started effectively? And then once we do get started, what keeps us in the market in a way that protects our trading capital and helps us get positive results? And so that set of questions has led us to develop really something that's a new concept in Astro Trading training. The aims here, we've got a number of goals with what we're doing right now with our training programs. The first is to remove this fear of loss. That is so dominant with so many individuals, that they're afraid to get engaged in the markets for fear that they're going to lose money and not be able to participate, and to really, in an attempt to expand their financial independence, we're going to end up with financial devastation, and that's not a particularly good thing. That's not what we're after, obviously. But that fear is so strong that we're focusing on that specifically as one of the key components of training in Astro Trading. You can learn techniques all day long. We can talk about the correlations between eclipses and the S&P, like the chart we showed earlier. We can talk about the cycles of Mars and the price of gold, or whatever it is that we're investigating, but we can put all that information into play. And if you're still too afraid of losing, then you will not trade and you will not gain from the experience, obviously. So that's one of the concerns. And in doing this, we've also wanted to create what I would call a safe learning environment. And there's a lot of potential for mistakes. There's a lot of potential for missteps and false starts in any kind of learning experience. And so this is one of the things that we're trying to do in a very conscious way right now, is to provide a level of safety and assurance to say that it's okay for you to go through some trial and error as you learn, because that's what will help anchor things for you more effectively. And of course, getting rid of procrastination is one of the biggies for us as well. And we're having a little bit of fun with that when we're talking about I'll get around to trading when my son moves out of my basement, but that may be the cause for procrastination. If that's what's in the way, we need to figure out strategies for getting past that in a hurry. And I keep saying I plan to procrastinate, but I haven't gotten around to doing it yet. So it's one of those things that can kind of lurk in the background, and unless we're conscious of that, and unless we can demand some attention with the program, we cannot expect the participants in any kind of training program to get good results. And so, in addition, of course, our aim is to provide advanced instruction with any kind of training that we're doing. We want to be able to give you some information that you can use that will provide some additional perspectives and insights, whether it's a free webinar like we're doing here today, to share some ideas. And a big part of what we're doing with this session here today is to encourage a little self-examination about, why am I not doing this if I'm not? And if I am doing this kind of activity, why am I not getting the results that I'm looking for? And that's the beginning of the transformative process, the beginning of the learning process that can move us toward true financial independence. So as we provide advanced instruction, then our program here, what we've understood is that it doesn't do us any good or you any good to dump a lot of information on you all at once and say, okay, here it is, go learn it all, and then come back and be the expert and live happily ever after. So what we have learned is that we have to work with incremental knowledge. In some of our new training, what we're doing is breaking our lessons down. For example, if we're doing videos, we may have a couple of dozen different video sections or components in a training module, so that you can go in and spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes watching a short video, getting a little bit of the information, go away, go have dinner, come back a week later, whatever works for you in terms of your pace. But this incremental exposure to information is critically important in terms of reaching a point of mastery and reaching a point where you're willing to stick with the trading process long enough to actually get results. And that's what we're really after here. So the incremental knowledge is a part of the program, and then accountability is another big part of what we've changed here recently. We're asking for more accountability from the participants in our training program. Now, if you enroll in a class at a college and show up for class every week and listen to the lectures, then at the end of the term there's going to be a final exam, and that's your accountability with that. You get to find out whether you've learned the information or not. What we've discovered is that we need a little bit more frequent reinforcement here. So a couple of times a month we check in with our participants in our newest program with a mentoring session to say, how are things going? What's happening with you? How do we modify this, and how do we keep you on track toward your goals and keep you on track with the learning process? So all of these concepts, what we've been talking about here, is what we've put into the new program that we launched earlier this month, in fact, and it's still in the very early stages of our new program we're calling Project Regulus. Now with Project Regulus, we have 8 major training modules that are being dispensed over the course of a 1-year period. And each of these training modules involves, as I say, 25 or 30 short videos, and then there are downloadable audios and PDF files and a lot of other things that go with the online training components. And again, because we're doing this over an extended period of time, over a 1-year period, we're able to use this principle of incremental knowledge to enhance the learning process. Along the way, we also, with Project Regulus, have twice monthly mentoring calls, as I mentioned a moment ago, and the aim of those calls is to say, let's make sure that you get the personal attention you need so that you're staying on track with the program. And what this entire program is designed to do is create a level of real mastery within the course of a year so that you feel totally competent and confident in your astro trading. Then the culmination of Project Regulus will be a big event coming up next summer, in the summer of 2016. We're going to have our Heart of the Lion Astro Trading Symposium, and this is going to be an event in which you'll be able to get some of the cutting edge information in astro trading, meet some astro traders, and enhance the skills. And it's always a great dynamic when we get to meet face to face and in the real world. We do a lot of things online like this webinar, but it's good to have the connections face to face as well, and see what we all actually look like. That's a good thing. So our aim here is to share some information about this. You can get more information at this website. Just go to projectregulus.com. And when you're there, this is kind of a splash page that has different links. If you're already a member, and I see that we've got a couple of our members here on this webinar, so welcome to you. Glad you could join us here this evening for this webinar, although this is probably, some of this information is redundant for you. But you know, with the projectregulus.com website, if you go to that site, there is a link there that says take me to the members area. Obviously, if you're not a member, if you click there, it will take you to a login page, and unless you have the username and password that will authorize you for getting into the information, you won't be able to. But we also have a link there to some free training videos, which you might want to take a look at. We produced a series of several short videos that give you some of the dynamics of astro trading that we teach in the Project Regulus program as well. And then in addition to that, there's also a link that says join. And I would encourage you to click that when you go to projectregulus.com. We, as I say, started the program about 10 days ago here, and we are still rolling out a lot of the components of the first training module, so this is not too late to get involved with the program. This is a program that has a high price tag attached to it, and it is a 1-year commitment there. But what we're doing through this weekend is offering some scholarship assistance to those who are interested in joining the program. So we have several different payment options there, including a payment plan that helps you spread out the financial obligation over the entire year, if that's something that works better for you. But as I say, we also have some scholarships available, and we still have several openings for those at this point. If you go there and click join, it should take you to a page that looks sort of like an order form, and it will give you the details on the scholarship assistance there. And it's actually an application for the scholarship. And essentially what it does is take about 64% off of the regular tuition fee for this program. So I recommend that to you highly. You know, even if you don't decide to join us at this point, I would encourage you to go check that out and get an idea about the program, because it can provide a lot for you. Now, as I said, Project Regulus includes 8 training modules during the course of a year. And each one of these modules is presented with a series of online videos, and then there are downloadable audios and PDF files and a number of other things that go with the training modules. We augment those with, of course, our mentoring calls so that we can help anchor that information and that knowledge more effectively by working with it that way. And so that's part of what we do with our program there. And what we're looking at here is our first module. We've just started rolling this out, and in fact, it'll be over the next week, 10 days here, we'll be getting the rest of the videos online. This is a program that's brand new, so we're kind of building it as we go, rather than saying a one size fits all, and here it is right out of the box, and hope you like it. we are working with our participants in the program and getting the feedback along the way. And that's what's gone into this initial module. The first module in Project Regulus we're calling Astro-Trading and Your Personal Money Flow. And as I say, this is we've already begun releasing this with the Project Regulus website. But this is a module that I wanted to share with you here today because it focuses on just this one core question that we've been discussing in our time together so far. It's like, what's keeping you from getting started, and how do you get started with Astro Trading? So the purpose of this first module on Astro Trading and Your Personal Money Flow is to provide you with the basic knowledge and the basic tools, the basic processes that you need to have to actually get started in Astro Trading for yourself. We can talk a lot of theory, and we can talk about what the planets do to the markets, and there's all kinds of things we can learn and study, but the first and most important focal point is, what is it going to take to get you engaged in the process in a way that will steer you towards getting results that can create the kinds of changes that you want in your money and your life. And that's really what this is all about here. So this is a program, this first training module in Project Regulus called Astro Trading and Your Personal Money Flow. It's not going to make you an expert. Now, the entire Project Regulus program that lasts for an entire year will give you a level of expertise. Its aim is to develop Astro Trading mastery. And since this first module is just the starting point, it by itself, we have to be candid about this, is not going to make you an expert. It's simply designed to get you started and to start you in a way that's fun, safe, and easy. That's our aim here. We want to avoid making the big mistakes that can cripple us financially, and really begin to get the basics down in a way that gives us something that we can build on for the future. That's why this is something that you might want to take a look at here as you look at your own personal self-examination that we've been talking about here today. If what's holding you back is these concerns that we've talked about worrying about losing money along the way, or not knowing what to do, and worrying that you might get off on the wrong foot, this is designed to address that very, very specifically. And in doing that, what we're looking at here is three core features of this training module, Astro Trading and Your Personal Money Flow. We are dealing here with some of the key concepts that it's important for you to have a connection with if you're going to be effective in Astro Trading, if you're going to get the results. There are certain things that we simply need to understand. Some of them you may already be familiar with, but it's important to review them and to get everybody on the same page, and for you to take the time to examine them for yourself in a pretty profound way. And we believe very, very strongly that without this mental work, without these concepts in place, that you will not be effective in the markets. Then on top of that, we have to have the right tools. And obviously, we've talked about things like getting the right trading software and having the right kinds of information and whatnot. These are all part of this picture of the tools. And we'll spend a good bit of time in this training module on Astro Trading in Your Personal Money Flow in looking at the tools and which are the most effective tools, and how do you go about using them along the way. So that's what we're looking at here, the tools that will help you get the right foundation. Then the third component of this training module, Astro Trading and Your Personal Money Flow, is all about specific strategies. What do you need to actually do to get started with trading in a way that will protect you from losing all your money, in a way that will give you the knowledge to help you develop the level of confidence that you need to trade effectively, that will move you along the path as seamlessly and as productively as possible. This is what we're looking at. So we start with the concepts, what needs to be in your head, what are the tools that you need to have at your disposal in order to do the work to get off on the right foot, and then how do you apply all of that to get a good solid start with your Astro trading career. Again, the aim here is not to turn you into an expert overnight. Our expectations are not that ludicrous, and it does take time, and it does take the engagement along the way. But this module has those core components in it that can actually give you a very, very solid start to the overall process. Now, with this module on Astro Trading and your personal money flow, what we're looking at here is we have 25 online videos. As I mentioned a moment ago, we don't have them all online yet on the Project Regulus website, but they will be there, and this is the program that our participants in Project Regulus are going through with this. In addition to that, there are reference materials, some suggestions for reading, and other things that are downloadable. The program on Astro Trading and your personal money flow does come with some downloadable software and downloadable audio files so that you can review the information that's on the video as well. So there's a lot of resources here available with this particular program. And again, it's all delivered online so that you can work at your own pace and work with this principle that we mentioned earlier of that incremental knowledge, going back to it, reviewing it, and adding to it as you go ahead. This is an example of some of the information that's in this program on Astro Trading and your personal money flow, which is the first module in Project Regulus. The flow in Astro Trading, the key money concepts, we talk about those when we talk about the concepts involved. Radiant thinking, a very interesting concept, and we spend a good bit of time with that in this program, and it can help you with your market analysis and the effectiveness of your trading when you learn the skills of radiant thinking, and we work with that a good bit. The sun-moon blend is one of the core astrological concepts that comes into play, and it's an important fundamental piece for our knowledge here that gives us the solid foundation that we're looking for with our Astro Trading. Your core values, an important principle to be connected with in order to make sure that you're going in the right direction. You have to know why you're doing what you're doing in the markets in order to really reap the rewards, not only financially, but emotionally and you know, at a lot of other levels as well. So we do talk about that concept along the way. The stages of mastery. It's important, you know, as I say, this is the beginning point of the journey toward Astro Trading mastery with this particular module on Astro Trading and your personal money flow. And so what we're doing there is helping you get the overall picture. For the participants in Project Regulus, this is the one-year process they're going through. If you worked with this information on your own independently, then you could still have that sense of direction and understand what would come next once you complete this particular training module. So the stages of mastery are part of it. The essential tools that you need to have, we mentioned this earlier, this is all about acquiring and understanding what tools you do need to acquire in order to be effective as an Astro trader and get the kinds of results that you would ideally like to have. And of course, the best Astro Trading software, we do talk about that a good bit in this training module as well. And there's a lot more to it. We don't want to burden you with all the minutiae, all the details of this, but it's a considerable amount of knowledge and experience. Now, as I mentioned, this, of course, is a core part of Project Regulus. It is our first training module in the Project Regulus program, but we're going to make this available independently of Project Regulus as well, primarily to be able to address this question that we've been dealing with here today, which is how come you haven't gotten started with it, and what does it take to actually get started with the process? I think it's sort of an obligation, a matter of honor, so to speak, that we deliver information that helps people get off on the right foot with this process, and that's what this program is really about. We want to make sure that you can get the solid grounding, the solid foundation. So we are going to make this program available to the general public, and it will be available in the future for $997. Something that you might want to think about adding at some future point if you're not interested in participating in Project Regulus, or if you're looking for just a little bit of kind of a kick in the pants to get you moving with this. This is the great program for that. Of course, if you're a member of Project Regulus, and I see we still have a couple of our folks here on the line, you do not need to worry about waiting for this to become available for purchase. You've already are getting it, and you're getting it for free. It is a part of Project Regulus. Of course, if you decide to join us for Project Regulus as well, remember that we not only have that scholarship opportunity that's still available here for a couple of days, but we also, you'll get this as a part of the program for free, as well as along with all the future training modules also. So that's something to keep in mind, you have a couple of alternatives here if you want to access this information. But if you're a member of Project Regulus or become a member of Project Regulus, you do get this module for free. And because this is officially right now in pre-publication mode, one of the reasons we wanted to share this information today is to let you know that we're going to make this available at a pre-publication price of just $297 for this entire program on Astro-Trading and your personal money flow. And that includes access to all of the videos and the downloads and all of the things that go with that. But we do want to note here that this pre-publication price does not include any of the other Project Regulus benefits. If you are a member of Project Regulus or become a member of Project Regulus, you get this for free, of course. If you decide that you wanted to just get this at the pre-publication rate of $297, it's available as well. I don't know what the deadline is going to be there, probably on Monday. Well, whatever the last day of the month is, that's Tuesday. Tuesday will probably be when we will close that pre-publication special. But you won't get the mentoring calls or access to that, access to the archived material for the Project Regulus that we post on the website. In fact, we'll be making this program available to you under a separate format, so that you will not be on the Project Regulus website if you get it at the pre-publication special offer there. So we wanted to make that clear as well, that this is something that is available for you, and we want to make it available in a number of ways, because again, our commitment here is to be able to offer you some solid guidance in getting you started with the Astro trading process, and to make sure that you're not jumping in and losing your money, you're acting precipitously, going off half-cocked, not knowing what you're doing, and putting yourself at risk. So our aim here is to do things in a way that do make it fun for you, obviously, and keep it very, very safe in terms of the potential risk or potential for loss for you. And make it as easy as possible along the way. And this is the preliminary step then toward Astro Trading Mastery. This doesn't guarantee you the mastery, but we want to do that as well. So the core question there is, are you ready to get started? And we've talked about what's involved in the procrastination. I'm going to pause for a quick sip of water here, but if you have questions, be glad to take time to answer those as well. Let's see here. Type in your questions, and I think they'll show on the screen. Let's see. Okay. Anybody have questions or comments? I see we've got a number of people still there. Let's see. Try this out myself here. It's amazing trying to coordinate all these computers to make this stuff happen here. But essentially, again, what we're trying to encourage here is your participation in the program. Oh. I see the chat room has been lost on this monitor here. So let me try this one over here. See if we can all right. I'm not seeing any comments there. So now let's see. Okay. Again, we will stay open here for whatever questions that you've got. Let's see. Okay, what's happening here? Okay. Good. Well, I'm just am aware here that I did not put up the link to the pre-publication special on that new program on Astro Trading and your personal money flow. I do have your email addresses from the login. We will send out an email to you with the link to that here. I do want to thank you for taking time to join us for the webinar here this evening. And please do, if you're not a member of Project Regulus, take a moment and check out projectregulus.com. Go to that website and take a look there. We do have the free training modules available. And if you're not a member already, click on the link that says join. That will give you the information on the scholarship program that we have available. And our aim here is to encourage you to participate in this program if you're willing to make the commitment time-wise of sticking with this process over the course of the coming year to really achieve Astro Trading mastery. If you're still kind of on the fence about it and wondering whether this is the right kind of thing for you, then I would encourage you to participate or get this first training module. For Astro Trading and your personal money flow, because what this will do is give you an opportunity to experience our style of teaching with Project Regulus, and also give you a solid foundation whatever you decide to do with your own Astro Trading. But again, I do want to encourage you to put a toe in the water and decide what it's going to take for you to move forward with Astro Trading and to get involved here. So we let's see, turn that off here. Okay. I still want to open this. If you have any questions at this point, please go ahead and post them. I see we still got a number of participants with the webinar, so I appreciate you sticking with me for the duration. And again, my apologies for some of the technical snafus that we had as we got things underway at the start. But we do appreciate your patience there and your willingness to make the effort to reconnect and to stay connected as we got things going there. So I don't see any more questions coming in. If you do have follow-up questions, feel free to send me an email, tim@timboss.com. Let me know you were on the webinar. And as I say, we'll be sending out some information to all of you who registered for the webinar so that you've got an opportunity to take advantage of some of these Astro Trading training opportunities. That's hard to say. We should call it something else. But that's what we're doing. So again, thanks for joining us, and appreciate your being a part of the program here this afternoon, and look forward to seeing some of you join us for Project Regulus. Hope that happens. Take care, everybody. This is Tim Boss with FinancialCyclesWeekly.com.